Date of birth. 02 Dodge Dingo. The guy, he says it runs like crap when he first starts it up when it's cold, and then it gets a little better once it starts running, and then after a while it's fine. Anytime somebody tells me that, first thing I do, pull a spark plug. They're junk. Reason why is they'll run like crap when they're that wore out, and as soon as they get hot, they start working better. Then your misfire goes away. So with these Dingos too, these are Champion Copper Pluses, I think. Yeah, Champion Copper Plus. That's factory. I always use OE plugs. Whatever the manufacturer recommends, that's what I put in a car. I mean, some Dodge boy might tell you that some iridiums or platinums or something might work okay in this, but if the manufacturer puts something in it, that's what I put in it, because once in a while you'll put some different plug in it and you'll have runnability issues, and then you're chasing a ghost because you'll be looking for something wrong with the car, and it's all because you got the wrong plugs in the car. These are good cheap plugs. They work really good. The only thing is you got to change them out about every 30,000 miles. These look like they got a lifetime of use on them. So yeah, Dodge cheaps out on these, and that's just fine. They're actually good plugs. Honda does the same thing. And they're great, you know, on older Hondas. They're great plugs. And yeah, if something calls for platinums, don't go putting cheap crap in it either. You know, it works both ways. So I'm going to put some plugs in this thing, and I'm going to make him run away. I'm going to clear the codes. And if he's got any other problems, then I'll go from there. So yeah. Boom zoom. I might look at number 2 too. I might do a coil swap on number 2. I probably should put the number 2 coil someplace else to see if that number 2 misfire changes to like number 1 or wherever the heck I put the dang thing. So yeah, alright, fun, yeah. I'm going to eat another cookie and I'm going to get right on this. First thing you got to do is break out a 10mm. There's a bolt right here. You can use either an 8mm or a regular screwdriver. Got 2 little clips on the air box and a hose you want to unplug. Oh, there's 3 of them. Okay. Yeah, lift and pull back like this. There's another 10mm down here. And this thing should just come off. Ooh. Intake air temperature sender plug. Push in, pull out. That's fun too. There's a little black box here. The guy pointed that out. I don't know what the heck that is. This box right here. What the heck is that? It looks like a license of steel. Somebody tell me. Somebody that knows something. I've never seen one. In fact, if it was my truck, I'd probably take it off. Just because I don't think it belongs there. Okay, this is number 1. Or this is number 2, I mean. It's even marked. There's a number 2 right here. So it's got a number 2 misfire and a multiple misfire. So I'm going to take this number 2 coil. I'm going to put it over here on number 1 because number 1's really easy to get at. I don't have to take anything apart to get at it. And then if the check engine light comes back on and it pulls a number 1 misfire, I'm going to swap out a coil. So right now it runs fine. You know, he came in, the car was hot, there's no misfires, so Yeah, I'm going to do that. Whenever you do spark plugs on aluminum heads, you always want to use anti-seize. This is what I use. This is the good stuff. Nuclear power generation industry. Yeah, don't ask me where I got that. It's all a big conspiracy. Yeah, you don't need a lot either. Just coat the threads a little bit. Just a little. Some people might tell you to use dielectric grease on the tips of these spark plugs too. I don't. I always leave them dry. For the simple fact that dielectric grease can trap moisture. You want that stuff to evaporate. As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to give it any better connection. So, there. Yeah, you just push these connectors in and pull straight out. There's a 10mm bolt you got to get at. They're stuck pretty good too, so I just get in here with a screwdriver, a pry bar, and just wiggle it back and forth and lift up on it. There. Pop out like that. Sneak it out. I'm going to stick this one over here. You got a misfire on any cylinder too. It's always good to look for carbon tracking. Carbon tracking will be some kind of carbon mark that'll go down the porcelain. There's nothing on here. This thing's wore down to nothing though. Anytime you see carbon tracking, you want to replace the spark plug boot, or the spark plug wire. Sometimes on these coil-on plugs, you got to replace the whole coil with the boot. You can check the gap too if you want. Basically what I do is I just look at it and make sure it's really square, because these are all pre-gapped. The spark plug number has the gap on it. That's another good reason why I use an OE plug. And you know, it looks real square. It doesn't look like somebody smashed it or anything. So that's just what I look for. And I usually never gap them. Unless they're not square, you know, unless somebody dropped a box or something. And you can visually see that it's really off. But usually they're not. If you got a square electrode tip, if it's square, it's better than you know, trying to gap it and bending it up or down. Because when it's square with the electrode, you're going to get an even spark all the way around. So to say, oh yeah, you want more gap or less gap, you go like this or like this, it's only going to be sparking on one side or the other. So it's really kind of stupid to do. It's a dumb idea. So there, stick that in a pipe and smoke it. I think spark plugs are supposed to be torqued to like 15 or 17 foot-pounds. With these though, there's crush washers on them, so I kind of do it by feel. I just want to feel that washer crush down, and when I feel that it feels like it's zero and not crushing anymore, I stop. The reason why I say that too is because sometimes you'll do spark plugs and the threads will be all goobered up really bad and they'll go in kind of hard. So if you just torque them down to whatever somebody says, sometimes they're not tight enough and the crush washer doesn't seal, and then you wind up getting a loose spark plug, and it can leak, and it can do funny things with the spark. So I don't know, that's kind of a gray area. You don't want to get them too tight either. There's a thingamajig in my way. I gotta take out the thingamajig. Looks like a 10mm. Yeah, this crush washer right here, see? That's got to be totally flattened out. Whenever you do spark plugs too, you always want to start them by hand, just to make sure they're threaded right. You put a ratchet on it and just start cramming it home, you can cross thread them pretty easy, especially when they're in a bad spot. Yeah, take this off, put it on here. It runs.